In the first scene of the film, we observe a small group of people gathered outside a diner. When the police come, they find 4 guys who have been beaten to the ground. One onlooker informs the police that one man attacked them all and beat them to the ground in a matter of seconds. Jack Reacher is discovered inside the cafe by Sheriff Raymond Wood Jason Douglas and his deputy. Jack Reacher predicts that the phone will ring in 90 seconds, and Wood will be wearing the cuffs and heading to jail for abduction. When the phone rings, Wood answers and gives his name, then military police cars arrive and arrest Wood. Due to the fact that they were engaging in human trafficking and that Reacher also beat up those individuals. Later, Reacher speaks on the phone with Major Susan Turner Kobe Smulders, who assisted in Wood's capture. Susan Turner has a military major, and she handed Jack Reacher the assignment of capturing those police officers. Susan made this decision in light of her familiarity with Reacher's qualifications. Once again, Major Susan Turner thanks Jack Reacher for this admirable deed. Reacher contacts Turner several times while on the road, and when she finally remarks that he probably owes her supper, he agrees. She then asks when he will be in Washington, D.C., and he replies that he will be there shortly. Then Jack Reacher stated, "We'll meet up soon," to which Susan nodded. After a while, Jack Reacher contacted her again and asked her when they should meet. He then informed her that he was in her city. Susan Turner immediately responded, saying she saw the table where Jack Reacher used to sit every day and that he also hit someone's head on it, leaving a significant mark that is still visible on the table. Then Jack Reacher arrives at the military office. Jack Reacher discovers Colonel Morgan Holt McCleaney seated at Major Turner's desk. Morgan notifies Jack Reacher that Susan Turner has been detained for alleged espionage. After stating this, Reacher was about to leave when Call tried to stop him so that they could speak with Jack Reacher for a little longer. Call also asked Reacher whether Susan Turner was his buddy, to which Reacher replied that she was not before leaving the room. When Jack Reacher later came across Leach, an officer, Leach immediately recognized him as an excellent cop. Reacher has contributed much to the military. Reacher exchanges words with Sergeant Leach. Jack Reacher asks Sergeant Leach what lawyer he would suggest to her father if he needed one. Leach swiftly suggests Colonel Moocroft. When Reacher questions Colonel Moorcroft about Major Turner, Colonel Morecroft Robert Caproni responds that they discovered a hard drive with confidential information in her home. When Reacher asks the Major what he has to say, the Colonel replies that he hasn't been permitted to see her yet. When Reacher remembers what his uniform stands for, Moorcroft has a change of heart and gives Reacher a file on 2 soldiers Sibeli M Serrano. The paternity suit was filed against the military, and it claims that Reacher is the father to a daughter from a woman named Candist. On which Jack Reacher retorted that he didn't know them and discreetly snapped a photo of 15-year-old girl. Then, when Reacher questioned how he would be able to meet Susan, Moorcroft responded that no one could. In a fit of rage, Reacher accuses mccroft of perhaps lying. He then left the location after that, and it is thought that Turner participated in their deaths remotely. While Jack Reacher has his lunch in a hotel while gazing at the photograph of the 15-year-old girl, 2 men in a black automobile can be seen keeping an eye on him. When they were looking at him, Jack Reacher abruptly fled. Jack punched the mirror so hard that it cracked into pieces, injuring the 2 men who were seated in the car. Jack Reacher thrashed them and took their purses. Later Moorcroft arrived to visit Jack Reacher and gave him a paper with information about 2 Afghani victims who had murdered and an accusation against Susan Turner. Reacher left after taking the file. The scene shifted and we see an individual only known as the Hunter Patrick Hussinger is keeping an eye on Reacher. Reacher follows Samantha Danica Yarish, his alleged daughter. He followed him to the grocery store, where he saw Samantha stealthily taking items out of the market without paying for them. After a while, Sam notices and confronts Reacher about it. When Reacher asks Sam if she is Candace's daughter, Sam assumes that Reacher wants her mother because of Candace's prior employment as a prostitute. When Sam turns away from Reacher, the hunter discovers Moorcroft in his home and brutally beats him to learn what information he has. There, Hunter severely beat mccroft and continued to question him about the file, to which mccroft responded that he would only provide Jack Reacher the names of Afghani victims. But, Hunter didn't even believe him, and mccroft was murdered. The following day, when Jack Reacher was brought to the military office, officials there accused him of killing Colonel Moocroft. As Reacher arrives to the HQ, Morgan, a few officers, and a lawyer by the name of Lieutenant Sullivan are there. Jennifer Stroop ready for him when Reacher is detained after being accused of killing Moorcroft in his home. He then noticed Lieutenant Sullivan, a woman seated next to him, and he asked her if she was his supervisor. Lieutenant Sullivan and Captain Espin were now going with Jack Reacher. In Sullivan's chamber, where Jack Reacher and Lieutenant Sullivan were already inside, they took him. However, there, Espin had closed the door. He notices some men arriving and knows they are there to kill him and Susan. Reacher asks Lieutenant Sullivan to get him a sandwich before escaping, taking down an officer named Espin Aldous Hodge, and stealing his uniform before heading over to Turner's cell, where sure enough, the men are there to kill her. Reacher defeats them all and removes Turner. After being recognized and being pursued by the police, they escape by robbing a police car. As Susan Turner tries to access her military website to find out more about her case, she discovers that her ID has been blocked, but she persists. This action alerted military personnel to Susan's location, and they immediately sent a team there, but Susan and Reacher had already departed the area. Reacher and Turner had gotten Morgan inside his home after realizing he was involved in the scheme. Susan and Reacher intimidated Morgan and got his laptop's password. They obtained their information from him and left. The hunter later arrives at Morgan's home and beats him to death with his phone, knowing Reacher and Turner are on the phone, so he contacts Leach and secretly asks her for assistance. She tells Reacher that Morgan was killed and that Prince and Reacher were on the phone examining additional data from Colonel Morgan's computer major. Turner discovers surveillance images, some of which feature Sam. As he and Turner arrive at Sam's foster home, they discover that her foster parents have been killed. In self-defense, Sam emerges from under the kitchen sink brandishing a knife. She is calmed down by Reacher and Turner, who then remove her. Sam is taken to a private school in Pembroke by Reacher and Turner for her protection because of their connections there. As she converses with some of the students, Sam pulls out a phone that she claimed to have left at home. When the two men pull her away and decide to leave, they throw Sam's phone away to avoid being seen. Reacher receives a call from Leach with information about a man named Daniel Prudhomme, an expert who was in Afghanistan and witnessed the deaths of Sibeli and Murkavish. Leach also mentions a company called Parasource, which is a private military firm. The three decide to travel to New Orleans in search of Prude. Sam pulls a credit card from a bag she stole from one of the schoolgirls in order for them to purchase their plane tickets on the plane. When Reacher spots two Parasaurus contractors on the plane, he beats them unconscious and steals information from their phones for the rest of the flight. Reacher pretends to sleep as he overhears Sam and Turner discussing who her father might be. While riding a bus in New Orleans, Reacher admits to Sam that he may be her father, which is why she is being pursued alongside him and Turner. She doesn't believe Reacher's claims until he mentions that Candist filed the paternity suit. Reacher and Turner discover Prude's bear in an abandoned building full of junkies after being tipped off by Prudhomme's wife, who hasn't seen him in months. Turner interrogates Prude at home, and he tells them everything he knows about the deaths of Sibeli and Murkavish, as well as everything he knows about Parasource. Reacher and Turner contact Espin and request that he speak with Prudhomme in order to learn the truth. As Espin is escorting Prude Hall Mount, they are ambushed by assassins, and Prudhomme is shot and killed. And Reacher jumps into the fight and kills the villains. Reacher also protects Espin, and the two of them escape. Reacher, Turner and other military officers have gathered in a base to confront General Harkness. Parasource's CEO is Robert Nipper. Turner accuses him of selling arms to insurgents and claims that the cases he and his men are unloading are empty. Some of the cases are opened, but to Turner's surprise, they contain arms just as she is about to be arrested. Reacher goes to an open case and discovers opium hidden in the arms, leading to Harkness's arrest. A short while later, Reacher receives a call from the hunter warning him that Sam is being pursued after using one of her stolen credit cards to order room service. Turner and Creature rush back to the hotel to save Sam. But Sam spots the hunter and his goons walking down the street during a Halloween parade, causing her to flee. The villains pursue her through the streets. Sam is being held at gunpoint by the hunter, who also threatens to knock her off. Sam has the chance to take the hunter's gun out of his grasp when Reacher drops and kicks it to him, as Turner had previously taught her. After tackling the hunter off the roof, they continue to struggle until Reacher finally breaks the hunter's neck and throws him down a ledge, clearing her name in the process. Turner returns to her previous work, and she and Reacher make a pact to stay in touch and schedule a dinner date. When Sam subsequently encounters Reacher in a cafe, he is prepared to determine whether or not she is actually his daughter. But Sam concludes that she is not, since Candist was bringing Reacher coffee, and the two of them did not recognize each other. The two then bid each other goodbye. Sam tenderly embraces Reacher and places a phone in his pocket. As the movie comes to a close, Reacher is hitchhiking down the road when Sam texts him saying, "Miss me?" But he still smiles and sticks his thumb out. The movie end there. If you like our video, kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss our new video.